Joined by head coach Scott Yoder of the Shenandoah University football team. They were picked number 6 in this year's preseason poll. Coach, last year you were first-year head coach. Now, obviously, you're a second-year head coach. What's different from preseason 1 when you were preparing to now preseason 2 with a year under your belt?
Well, we're just excited to be back because now our upperclassmen can truly be upperclassmen. They understand what our program's about and what our offensive and defensive foundations are built on. So we're so happy to have an opportunity to get the guys in camp here in this next week and look forward to building on the foundation that we built in the first year. And certainly have a lot of work to do, but I feel really good about where we are at the start of year 2.
And I think that's where I was going to go next here with this, is give me a little bit of a state of the union or state of the Hornets, if you will, about where you see your football team coming into this season for game 1.
I think the biggest thing that we face as a coaching staff and as a team is we need collective confidence. We had a lot of ups and downs last year, some incredible ups, some real low lows, and we need to find a way to be consistent. And that's not an easy thing to achieve. It's simple to say, but we've got to have our upperclassmen play well, and we've got to be consistent on offensive and the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's the most important thing. When you look at X's and O's offensively, I believe we have 10 starters returning, 10 guys that played a lot, and we were very young last year. So we're looking for a big upswing in our offense as far as just maturity level and give us a chance to score some points and win some games. Defensively, we did take a hit with losing some guys, but we're excited about the guys we have back, and we just need to play consistently at a high level, and that'll give us a chance to win some games this year, which is obviously what we came here to do.
Quarterback is a bit of a hot topic across the league, and I'm going to talk to each coach about quarterback because it is an important position for everybody. It starts with the quarterback. What do you see coming out of the quarterback position for you this year?
Well, we have Drew Ferguson, who played last year, started a bunch of games for us, and took all the snaps in the spring. We were a 2-quarterback system last year with a freshman, Justin Neff. Unfortunately, Justin tore his ACL in the winter and was not able to participate in spring ball. He got the surgery, and he will not be available this fall. And that certainly hurts us from a depth perspective and a competition perspective, but we're hoping that Drew really takes this thing by the reins, and it's his team. It's his job to lose right now. And you look at the league and you look at the way football is, the trigger man is probably the most important guy on the field. If you've got a good one that can manage the game and make plays, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games. So we're looking for a big improvement from Drew from year 1 with us to year 2. I know he's ready for it, and we're going to pretty much go as far as he can take us.
As you mentioned, you've got 10 starters coming back on the offensive side, which means you get some solid guys on the offensive line, and that's important to any squad coming in from one year to the next year with the continuity that creates. But when we look at it, what are some of the skill position guys that you see really excelling here now in your second year?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It starts with the O-line. It always will. The fact that we did not lose anyone, and we were very, very young last year. They all have game experience. We'll have a little bit more depth. We're going to have to hang our hat on those guys. I really like our skill position guys, from the running backs to our wide receivers. All of them played last year, most of them significant time. I think we've got a real gem in Miles Green at the tight end position. Brandon Adams is a captain and a slot wide receiver. Cedric Delaney is a great athlete who we need to find a way to get him the ball. Khalil Middleline was a freshman last year, and he played like an upperclassman last year, and we need that to continue. David Bell, a guy that's played in our program for 3 years and has had major contributions all those years. We need those guys to have great years for us to achieve what we can.
When we switch to the defensive side of the ball, you said you took a hit in losing some players, and there's no doubt you did, but you've still got a pretty good stable coming back. You got 2 guys on the line that were all conference players, in Ian Griffin and Jake Payne. You've got somebody in the linebacker that's back there to help with that core, and you've got a couple guys back in your secondary. Talk a little bit about what you see from your defensive unit from year 1 to year 2.
I think the biggest thing goes back to the consistency factor. We played well at times last year when we all were on the same page and consistent, but we could not play that way the whole game. And I don't want to give us the excuse that we were young and it was year 1. It's just going to magically be better year 2, but we need to find a way to play at that high level all the time. Defensive line is always where it's going to start, and Ian has to have the type of year that he can have. For us to be successful, he's got to have a first-team All ODAC, possible All-American type year. Jake Payne is as good as I've coached, and he was excellent last year as a sophomore. He needs to be dominant inside. The linebacker position I really like. That's probably our deepest position. Sean Blackman, we moved him to an outside linebacker last year, and that paid dividends, and he'll be there. He needs to be all over the field as well, making plays. The biggest concern we have is our secondary does not have a lot of reps, game reps. So, can we have the right athletes back there, but can we get them reps and get our defense up to speed as soon as possible?
Last year we asked you at the end of the interview, taking a look at the league from the outside coming in. Now you've had a year in the league, and you saw what can happen with the league as everybody goes back and forth with each other, a lot of beating each other up. You beat a playoff team last year that went to and won a playoff game and then went to the number 2 team in the country all the way out west and took them to the brink. What does that say about the league as far as maybe what it's going to do on a national stage, some of the noise it can make, but also the competitive nature of the league itself internally?
Well, one of the reasons that we came here was the ODAC, such a great league, and I think that the first year just kind of proved it. You've got to bring your best every Saturday, or you're going to be in trouble, and we've got really, really good teams, and I think Hampton-Sydney showed that on the national stage, getting to the Sweet 16 and taking a top-tier team pretty much to the brink, and that's great for our league, that's great for Hampton-Sydney, that's great for the ODAC, and that's great for Shenandoah. So I think it just speaks volumes to the competitiveness of our league. And even if you look at last year, and I think even this year, there's probably 4 or 5 teams that legitimately could win the league. And that's exciting, and it's great for us to be a part of that, and we can't wait for September 6th.
Coach, I want to thank you for joining us today, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.